Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose to Row in Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Friday, September 13. Happy Freaky Friday, y'all. I hope that wherever you are feeling happy and well and whole and blessed and supported and loved and uplifted. I feel great this morning. I feel happy to be alive and grateful for my situation in life. It's a gorgeous morning here in Lee Summit, Missouri. Not too cool, not too warm. And just happy to be here with you. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for spending this time with me. And thanks for tuning in to find about your regular current astrology. I'm here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and today we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how this week has gone a little bit. We're going to talk about today, and then we're going to talk about the coming weekend and the full moon coming up on Tuesday. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I sure do appreciate it. It helps me out, and I love to see new people here. So if you haven't yet said hello, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section. Let me know that you're here. I'm going to take a drink of water here. Let me know that you're here, and ask me anything. That should elicit some interesting comments. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into today's astrology. The sun is in Virgo, and this is the time of year when we're sort of turning away from the warmth and the activity of the summer and turning our attention back to practical matters. You know, we're getting back to school, we're going back to work, we are rededicating ourselves to the progress we're trying to make in our lives and in the world. So that is the vibe, and Mercury is in Virgo as well. Virgo likes to sort things out, you know, clean out the garage, sort of go through the things that have gotten cluttered and put everything back in its place, so you know where your resources are and you can make use of them, you know, in effective ways. So that's the sun in Virgo. Today, the moon is a waxing gibbous in Capricorn now. Moon in Capricorn, we need mountains to climb and problems to solve. It's, a very active vibe. It is an earthen vibe, just like Virgo and Capricorn are both earth element signs. And so that makes today very much about you know, being practical and focusing on the progress that we want to make, focusing on our responsibilities, taking care of our health and our wealth and our finances. Okay, so pay the bills, check the bank account, make the phone calls that you need to make the doctor appointments that you need to make. That's very much the vibe that we have today. And there's not a lot of big astrology on the page today. Actually, there isn't any big astrology on the page today, but this week we did have some energy that gave me an impression. I know I'm not the only one that gave an impression that you know, we could maybe make some progress in the way that we'd like to, but also there was a little vibe there of there's possibility of overdoing it. And so, you know, this Mercury sextile Mars said, oh, we can take action on our plans and things are going to go forward. We can talk about the progress that we want to make, and that will make something happen. But then the sun came in and squared Jupiter and said, be careful, you know, like you like things are optimistically expanding, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be positive in the way it gets expressed. So you know, there was this tendency for popping off. There was this tendency for confrontations to happen, or for us just sort of just in a moment of heightened passion to say more than we would normally say, or say it to a person that we wouldn't normally say it to. And you know, I look at the news every night. There is a lot of confrontation out there in the world. There's a lot of violent interactions. And I really think that read in that astrological signature with Mercury and Mars and the sun and Jupiter, just sort of like, you know, today's the day I'm gonna say the thing that I wouldn't normally say, right? So, you know, hopefully you didn't find yourself in any of those kind of confrontations, but if you did, as long as you survived it, remember that it's okay. Okay, it's not necessarily the end of that relationship. If you popped off with somebody that you care about, it's not necessarily the end of the world, even if what you said changed something in your life situation. um, you can come back from it, right? There's always another conversation to be had with somebody who's important to you. And I just want to remind you, even if you popped off, maybe somebody popped off with you, right? But even if you popped off, it's okay to, like, be forgiving with yourself, be kind to yourself about it, because beating up on yourself about the way you acted a couple days ago is not going to make things better for you. Okay, so try to sit with yourself a little bit, understand why it is that you said something that you wouldn't normally say, or sort of went hard with somebody that you wouldn't normally go hard with, or maybe you were on the receiving end of that. But here's the thing: like, that energy is present for everybody. So it's possible that if I popped off with somebody else popped right back at me, right? So that's how these confrontations escalate. It's a little bit like this escalating silo of anxieties, right? Like, I might not be completely right in what I said, and then the person who talks back to me might not be completely right in what they said, and we're just going to try to top each other now, right? With being the most outrageous and confrontational, right? So uh, it's okay to put that behind us now. It's okay to mellow out a little bit today. There's no major vibes on the page today. And then the lunar vibes on the page today are very, like this morning, they might be a little bit, you can't get what you want. You can't always get what you want, okay? And then later in the evening, they're very positive vibes that have to do with grace and some surprise and some creativity and use of imagination, reasons to have faith in the world. So it's coming back. The reasons to have faith in the world, are coming back as much as we might need them. They are here for us to lean into. This Saturday, okay, so I'm going to be back here on Monday to talk to you about next week, the full moon on Tuesday, and the fall equinox at the very end of the week. But this Saturday, the Sun is going to make an adjustment to Chiron, and Venus is going to be trine Jupiter. So that Venus trine Jupiter is intensely positive, and it's really like a state of grace. It's not something that you have to do. Really, it's a moment where we get to notice how much it is that we have to be thankful for, what it is that we have to be grateful for, and we can feel that and feel it in a real true and honest way. Not like, okay, I feel grateful, so I'm not going to pop off anything anymore. It's really more like, a combination of the things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. And then Jupiter likes to come in and optimistically expand whatever it touches. And that trine says, yes, you can just have it. You can just have it. So reasons to be grateful coming up on Saturday. But then that Sun is also in an adjustment with Chiron. So the Sun, that's our sense of purpose, what it is the work we're doing in the world, what we're trying to get done in the world. And Chiron is that desire that we have for healing from old wounds. Right now, Chiron has been in Aries for several years, and it's really about childhood wounds. It's about the way people treated us when we were young, and sort of like the calluses that we have to defend ourselves or to keep ourselves from having to have those encounters as adults, and the healing that we seek from those. So it's almost like this vibe is a little bit like you have habitual ways of doing things. Not all of them, all of them may help you feel like you're making progress and getting through your day, but not all of them reflect the healing that you want in the world. And we know that when we want healing, there are changes that we personally have to make. So this is an opportunity, I think a really positive one, to adjust the way we do things so that they more reflect the healing that we want in our lives. So that's coming up tomorrow. And there's a void, of course, tomorrow. The moon is going to move out of Capricorn and into Aquarius very early in the morning. So that void, of course, Central Standard Time, friends, is from 2:35 a.m. to 2:53 a.m. if you're awake from it. If you're awake for it, I encourage journaling, meditation, artistic pursuits, whatever it is that helps you sort of pause and reflect and integrate what has happened over the last few days. And then on Sunday, Mars is going to square the nodes. That is going to bring up a little bit more of that assertiveness, that desire for change. Mars is squaring the nodes where things leave us. Eclipse means to leave, right? So the South Node is the stuff that we want to put behind us, sort of leaving us. So that's great news, especially when it comes to Mars. We can be assertive. We can just really, make the point to move on from whatever it is that's behind us that we want to leave behind us. But Mars is also squaring the North Node, and that's things are leaving us that we're trying to head toward, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. It just means that we might have thought that one thing was part of our goal, and now we realize that our trajectory has shifted a little bit. We're still on course. It's really a matter of our navigation sometimes being a little bit off, and the stars bring us back into alignment. Okay, so that Mars squaring the nodes, just sort of reminding us, like, this assertiveness, this desire to make progress is coming from somewhere, and it's for a reason. So it's a great opportunity to be reminded about what it is that you're trying to put behind you, where it is that you're trying to go, and a good opportunity to adjust course. But it can be a little bit challenging because it's a double square with an opposition, right? The nodes are opposed to each other, and Mars is squaring them both. So don't be surprised if you encounter a little challenge on Sunday that's about, what kind of progress do you want to make right now? What do you want? Do you really want to return to this old way of doing things, or do you want to move forward? So again, this weekend we're having this conversation with ourselves about the blessings that we desire, and the things that we have to be grateful for, and the things that are coming toward us that we have to be grateful for, and what we have to change, what we have to adjust in our way of being, what we have to leave behind, what adjustments we have to make on our trajectory forward in order to achieve what it is we're trying to achieve. All right, and then coming up on Tuesday, we're going to have that full moon in Pisces. It's a full moon with a lunar eclipse. The eclipses are back. Okay, so we have 2 eclipse seasons a year. We had 2 eclipses back in March and April that were pretty consequential. And this is going to be the second half of those eclipses. The stuff that came up at that time of year is going to come up for us again this time of year, between around now, but Tuesday, the full moon, and then 2 weeks later with the new moon and the partial solar eclipse that's coming up. So look for those themes from March and April to return to you. Okay. And maybe do a little planning and have a little thinking ahead, like, if this comes up for me, like, where am I at on it now? And what might be changing, what might be, again, eclipses leaving me, what might be set aside so that I can continue to make the progress that I want to make. And then next week. Next Wednesday, Mercury will be in opposition to Saturn. So a little bit of boundaries coming up, a little bit of seriousness, a little bit of need to really focus on what is practical. And on Thursday, the sun will have a trine with Uranus. So grace, surprises. And then next Sunday is the fall equinox, and it's the day the sun moves out of Virgo and into Libra. But I will be here on Monday and Wednesday and Friday of next week to talk with you about that then. Okay, I think that's all I have for you. Again, if you have any questions or comments, or just want to say hello to me, please drop it in the comments below, and I will look forward to responding to you, and I will see you all in the next video. Mwah. Bye-bye.